Holistiplan's update to the tax letter allows for the creation of custom sections that are applicable not just to one individual client, but that can be applied to every client in your firm. I've already jumped into the tax letter section of one of our sample clients, so I can show you how to do this. Within the tax letter editing section, the way to create a custom section is to navigate down towards the bottom of the page, click on the Edit Section Types link, where you'll come to the tax letter section customization. Now, there's some other things you can do in here, including editing Holistiplan generated sections. But to create your own, you'll want to click the Create button, which will bring up the Add Section Type dialog box. You've got a few things to enter here so that you can decide exactly how you want things displayed, both in the tax letter creation screen as well as how it's going to show up on the actual tax letter itself. So from top to bottom, the title here, the first one is, this is how you want it to show up in that bullpen of possible sections that you can choose from. So we're going to create one here that said, report sale of primary residence. So if I type this, and let's type it correctly, that's how it's going to show up in my list of available sections to choose from. If I want a different title or even the same title, I've got to indicate how I want it to show up on the actual tax letter itself. So here we'll just call it something a little bit different just so that we can differentiate between the two. The activity description help text, this is going to be the italicized text in the creation screen that gives you a little bit of a clue as to what you're supposed to type in. So maybe here we'll type indicate address. The year applicable start and year applicable end are for those folks who only want sections available in certain years. If you want the sections available for any year of the tax letter, you can leave it blank. If you want it to start in a particular year but then have no end, you can put something in the start year. And the opposite is true. If you want it to be in every year up to a particular year, you can put it in the year applicable end. In this case, I'm going to leave it blank because I want this available as a possible selection for a section in any year of the tax letter. The tax letter description, again, there are two fields, one for clients and then one for tax professionals. So the tax letter description for clients might say, you are entitled to an exclusion on the sale of a primary residence. And let's actually make that even a little bit more appropriate. Exclusion on the capital gains resulting from the sale of a primary residence. And then for the tax professionals, we'll say our client sold a primary residence as indicated below. Now, this might not be what you actually write, but we're just trying to give some evidence as to what these things might look like. The last section down here would be, how should this section be referenced in the resulting tax report? This is kind of a neat section because when you type this in, the tax report that you generate for the next year. So if I'm doing a 2023 tax letter and I then upload a 2023 tax return in early 2024, that tax report for that return will include this. So maybe I'll say on here, check form 8949, right? Because that's where you report the sale and other dispositions of capital assets, including the sale of a house. I'm going to hit save. And now that is an available choice that I can choose when I come back to my household and my tax letter. It shows up right here, report sale of primary residence. So I can click on this. Now I've got to add another line. So here's my date. Remember, here's our help text, indicate, remember I said indicate address. So maybe I put, I don't know, 123 Cranberry Lane. And $250,000, and we'll give it the date of January 1st. And now here's how it shows up in my navigation section, right in my creation section. Remember, we said this is what the text would be for the client, and this is what it would be like for the tax professional situation. So that is how you go about creating custom sections. You can create more than one. You can have as many as you like. You just have to keep hitting the create button and going through that same process.